Okay. Okay. No equals no. They're both the same in English and in Spanish. Double negative makes a positive. Enter my general overviewing thoughts on language. Alright, guys. So, I want to really quickly just go over some thoughts. So, my main things on language learning, main thoughts is I don't really have so much of a set technique. Just listen and read as much as possible the native things in the native language as much as possible. Get like a bunch of hours. Like one person I'll mention later just recommends like at least 10,000 hours of listening. Just like that magic number. Of course, you also need to actually do some work, but like, I don't know, man. Like, for example, there's people like, you can't learn Japanese from anime. Like, they don't use that in their speaking. I'm like, what do you mean, It's like, of course. It's like, how would you not get any Japanese out of anime if, like, Japanese people are watching all the time in Japanese? It makes no sense to me. Maybe it's not the most formal at times. Maybe it's not the best, but, like, you're at least hearing, like, things in context. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that it wouldn't be bad to like also go and watch the news or other things, but just like find ways that you enjoy. And both reading and listening just really good. And just reading, you just get lots of grammar and stuff. That's like, and eventually like all the grammar rules will like, even if you don't completely understand them, they'll like in your head just be internalized. So like here's some things I really like Yotsuba. Absolutely savage, dude. This is like some R-rated stuff right here. Like, I mean, look at that. Look at that face. That's the face of like a killer or something. Like, it gives you instant diabetes. Like, oh gosh, dude. Like, look at this. Look at this savage stuff right here. And it's nice because they got a furigana, so you have the kana. It makes it easier to pronounce. And that's the thing, it's nice though. Remember, like, people thinking, oh, Japanese so hard, Spanish so hard. Like, yeah, they have things that are tricky about them, but there's also things about the languages that actually are quite easy to learn, and I'd say make more sense than English. It's just, we're not used to them. It's not your native language. So just, don't let those people saying, oh, Japanese is so hard, you can't do it. It's like, oh, shut up, dude. It's easier for a Korean for I learn Japanese than English. But that's another story too about language similarities. I mean, look at this. Look at this R-rated material now. Like there's this helpless little kid running away. Oh, and she's saying she's asking for help. And look at this. Here's a strong lady and save and just bam, dude, smashes her head. Like, oh my goodness, dude. Dang, that is savage. Like, wow, dude. There's some good R-rated material in there. Alright, but seriously, it's pretty great. It's pretty family-friendly, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty used to reading Bibles, so it's like, if you can find something that is like, you've read something in English and you know that there might be a Japanese translation, that's another good thing, too. I'll go over that a bit more. I mean, I got one also Spanish. And it's also in English, too. It's a bilingual. You can have resources like that. And I'll actually show you some stuff online. With things like kanji or just simply like learning new words, it's always good to write stuff out. I just have a bunch of kanji and things I just wrote out. There's some drawings that one of my friends it's so funny but so cute looking. Just like this 3-year-old girl drawing this one time. She was like, can I see? Like, sure, whatnot. It was pretty funny, entertaining kids when they're in the car. So yeah, look at all that. Just a bunch of kanji I've been practicing. So I haven't filled out this whole thing, but yeah. That's enough of that, I mean, I need to read this thing in Spanish. But, just finding stuff that, entertaining to read. Or you can look up videos of that stuff, in a language you want to learn online. I mean, and then there's also, like, Heisig's Remembering the Kanji. Just absolute great. Just a book for just to like you got they start out with simple kanji and then they just work on more complicated to sort of like make what you call mnemonics. And mnemonics are just like learning devices that help make things more easily. Like, for example, I took from this dictionary, which is a really good one. And dictionaries just for learning a new language are great, you know, and if you can get so good, you know, maybe having one that's just for that language. But that, you know, especially starting out, just like do one that's for it. But this one, they have a furigana and they don't have romaji. If you're learning Japanese, please get off that romaji. There's no excuse, kind of simple to learn. So, and then kanji gets nice. It's hard to learn at first, but once you learn kanji, it has some nice benefits, and I could explain that in another video if you'd be interested. Why you're like, wait a second, Tim, you think that kanji has benefits? It's not. No, there's a method to the madness. So, like, for example, I learned in this that, like, for example, one mnemonic I thought up really quickly for Japanese. I thought of some for Spanish, and so just imagine this. Get an image of your head. There's like this girl, and she's walking through the slums. It's destitute, like it's dusty. There's all sorts of pollution there. It's like this big city, you know. There's like skyscrapers, and she's just all alone, 5-year-old girl. And there's this dude. He's like looking messed up, you know. He's like this older dude. He's just like about to just kill this girl for like absolutely no reason, just a sick, disgusting man. So the girl just like she just opens up her. She just slightly grins, opens up her mouth, and like shows off her tooth, which just transforms into an enormous leaf with this big huge blade and just swipes the dude in half and just completely swipes off, like demolishes a skyscraper how it swung, and then just swings back into place in her mouth, and then she just walks off. Oh, but before she walks off, she laughs, ha ha ha, and ha is how you would say way for saying tooth and leaf and blade. So that's an image that I use to remember that easily. And there's been words I tried to remember before, but I didn't have a mnemonic that stuck with me, or I didn't make a mnemonic, and some of them, you know, I can't remember, but that was like bam. So anyways, I might have to experiment a bit, and I need to learn more vocabulary myself and read more. I've been out of practice. But I hope that helps you. And if you have more specific things you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. Thanks. Alright guys, I just want to show you some quick things I like doing for my language learning. So like this site right here, wordproject.org, is really cool. Like for free you can have, you can read the Bible, you could download the Bible, you could have like, to translate back and forth. Like for example, we got Genesis 1 here in like English, and also in Spanish. You can have English with Spanish as well. I haven't been able to get it Spanish with Japanese, unfortunately. I tried, but like for example, like translating back and forth is really effective. Like you can have like, for example, you can read along, for example, with hold on a second here. I stopped rickrolling y'all for a second. But you can, for example, just like read along with it, you know, and then you can like go back and forth too, which is actually a technique that like they would use in Asimu, which is a French company. It's actually like super, like they can like spend quite a bit of money on that, and like it's pretty cool though. For example, like even just in a simple sentence analyzing, like in the beginning God created the heaven and earth, compared with Hajime ni kami wa tento chito wo sozo sareta. So like for example, like that's the word for God, for gods, and then that's, depending on the context, that's the word for heaven, or heavens, and that's the word for ground, context earth. But then look at that, you have the verb after the object, and like those are, that's the object article sort of right there, and that's the topic article to show that kami, you know, God is the topic of the sentence. So I mean, right there you learn so much about simple Japanese grammar, you know, and you can do similar things with like Spanish, and just reading, so helpful, so much easier. But like, let's get back to rickrolling, y'all. But you also got, like, for example, yeah, good. But you also, like, you can, like, download whole, like, parts of the Bible in, like, different languages. Like, you can download, like, whole books at a time. Like, for example, I want to, like, you know, I want to check out the check, and I want to go to Revelations. I can just, like, boom, get the whole thing in a zip folder. Bam, dude. Right there. All for free, dude. Stuff like that I listen to a lot, you know. Gets you good at language. This guy right here, even if you're not learning specific Japanese, I highly recommend this. Really, really great table of contents. There's stuff you can pay for, but I don't really think you need to just highly recommend read that stuff. He, like, recommends you listen, like, pretty much every waking moment you can. Language you want to learn, and, like, as much as possible try doing it. I'm not that intense, but I try being that intense. Sometimes I am, so you should definitely do it. Like, it might sound great, but I got, like, used to, like, listening to the Bible in Japanese, just having it in the background while I sleep, you know. And, like, it actually, like, they have done experiments on that, so there actually is some science behind that, but yeah. And he recommends doing descendants mining. I'm not too huge into that. I prefer reading, but you can always check that out. Oh yeah, I had another one. It was just a hooliganov and then the gold list. So it was a pretty interesting technique. I'll go to the site just so that you can check it out. So it's another sort of a method focusing on, like, getting a lot of passive input. This guy talks a lot, but very interesting. So yeah, you should check it out though. It's at least an idea, but this guy talks a lot, you know. I've tried doing it a bit. I didn't really feel it was my thing. Maybe I'll try it again though. I think it definitely does work though. It's a pretty interesting, unique thing. It's basically a spaced repetition, but more like relaxed without electronics. So, and there's a science behind it. It's pretty interesting, learning vocabulary, so, yeah. So, check those out. One last thing. You notice something? There's more numbers. Why is that?